I don't think people realize the amount of work's involved in actually bringing something from a concept to being made so you can actually wear it on your head. It's very unforgiving. It's on your head, especially for us when making a hat for a movie. I mean, screenshots of your up close and personal, the hat's got to be right. And so it takes a lot of work to create that, and it's all by hand. It's not just thrown into a hopper and it spits out and here's a hat. Well, it's not like you went off the shelf, you just take it and boom. This has got to be specific to all the different parts of that. The brim, the crown. Out of all the hats we've ever made, that may be one of the most iconic hats that people gravitate towards. It's amazing how many people can actually relate to that and remember that. I grew up in Maywood, right here in LA, Southeast LA. So I'm a lifelong Angelino, you know. It's great to be right in the middle of downtown, you know. You know, I remember as a young boy with my grandmother coming into downtown and them doing the filming on the streets and things and that sort of thing. I remember seeing those and made an impression on me, and didn't really resonate until later in life. You know, sometimes you have things change as you're trying to find your right fit, right? And so at the school district, the National Science Foundation, which was, I used to work for the science centers, ran out of money. And so I could see that I had to change directions. And my friend said, hey, you'd be good at hats. You're good with your hands. You know, you should try to maybe consider coming in the hat business with me. So we started a little business, and that was in the early 90s with the infancy of the internet. And that didn't really work so well because of the distance. He was in New York City. I was here in LA. So we decided to separate ways. He kept his hat shop in New York, and I started to work as an apprentice under Eddie Barron in Burbank. And then from that, I wanted to buy just a couple of molds and maybe do this on the side and stay working at the school district. And Eddie Barron said, it's everything or nothing. And so here we are. Kept the Barron name for obvious reasons. Barron Hats has been around and synonymous with motion picture and television. So I didn't want to lose that lineage or that history. I wanted to keep that, and so we kept that name for that reason. So we've been around 50 years, so people know who we are for the most part in the motion picture and television industry and the music industry. Sometimes all we get is a sketch, and a rough sketch at that. And sometimes we have to work with that doesn't really have any definition. So we've got to take that and bring all the definition in a three-dimensional piece that actually works on screen. So in a nutshell, that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea what it takes to do. It's amazing. I don't usually have time to be able to go to the movies and see the things on the big screen. A lot of times I don't get a chance to do that as often as I'd like. To me, it's like second nature, though. It's not, it's just like tying my shoes. It's very gratifying. This is called a conformature, and this takes an impression of your head and gives me the exact measurements. This is called a vermilion, and this is the other part of that. It goes like this on your head, like that, like that. This window comes down like that. This goes like that.
How old is that?
1890s. And here's an impression of my head. And I'll cut this out and I'll put it in the vermilion.
And this is what you still use?
Oh yeah, I use it every day. Almost every day. So I'm just energizing the system so we have steam. That's what this is all about. So in the next 5-10 minutes, this is going to give steam to the entire workbench. The steam heads, the blocking machine, the irons will all be in the next 15 minutes or so have steam, which is what we need to make the hats.
The steam is what helps you hold it?
Right. The steam is the heart of our energy that gives us everything that we do need to actually do what we do. For hat making, because of the decline in people wearing hats, the bigger factories and the smaller shops started to go by the wayside. And so there was no need for new machinery. There was no need for, so it was sustainable with the machinery that was built in the late 1800s, early 1900s, that whatever wasn't scrapped, that what did survive was able to sustain the amount of hat makers that still exist. Most everything has to be welded or made because those parts don't exist anymore.